Well, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're tackling one of the most complex and symbolically rich poems in the modern tradition, but it's considered a romantic poem, Sailing to Byzantium by William Butler Yeats. This poem is a journey, but not just any journey. It's a quest for something much more abstract, immortality through art, and intellectual transcendence. First, let me ask you, when you heard the word immortality, what came to mind? Are you thinking of living forever, physically unchanging? Or are you thinking about something more intangible, like leaving behind a legacy that continues to influence people long after you're gone? Yeats takes the latter route. He doesn't seek immortality through his physical body, but through the enduring power of art, wisdom, and intellectual creation. Let's take a deep dive into this poem, breaking it down piece by piece. Along the way, we'll analyze the symbols Yeats uses, because understanding these symbols is key to unlocking the meaning of the poem. After all, in literature, symbols represent something beyond themselves. Think of a flag. It's just cloth, right? But it symbolizes patriotism and national heritage. Yeats uses symbols like Byzantium, birds, gold, and water to carry a deeper philosophical weight. Let's look at stanza 1. Here, Yeats is showing a rejection of the sensual world. The poem opens with the powerful rejection of the world of youth and sensual pleasure. Yeats writes, "That is no country for old men, the young in one another's arms, birds in the trees, those dying generations at their song, the salmon falls, the mackerel crowded seas, fish, flesh, or fowl commend all summer long, whatever is begotten, born, and dies." Now let's pause for a moment and think. What is Yeats saying here? He's not merely describing youth or the natural world in a neutral way. He's rejecting it for the elderly. The world of the young is full of vitality, beauty, and sensual pleasures. But notice how quickly Yeats introduces the concept of death, those dying generations. What do we think he means by this? Is he lamenting the fact that youth fades into age and eventually death? Yes, but it's more than just that. He's pointing out the cyclic nature of life. Birth, growth, and decay are all part of the same natural rhythm. And while there's beauty in this cycle, it's ultimately fleeting. The dying generations are symbolic of the constant, inevitable process of living and dying that takes place in the physical world. Now, I want you to consider this analogy. Imagine life as a river. The water flows, sparkling in the sunlight. It's beautiful, it's full of potential, but it must empty into the sea eventually. In the same way, Yeats sees the physical world of youth, love, and nature as beautiful, but destined to fade. He's rejecting this world because it is marked by change and death, and instead he longs for something eternal. Notice the phrase, monuments of unaging intellect. Here's where Yeats is making a key distinction. While the body and the physical world decay, the intellect, art, philosophy, intellectual achievements can remain eternal. What does this tell us about Yeats's view on mortality? He values what endures, what transcends the physical realm. His quest is not for eternal youth, but for eternal wisdom and creativity. Moving on to stanza 2, Yeats takes a moment to reflect on the frailty of the aging body. An aged man is but a paltry thing, a tattered coat upon a stick, unless soul clap its hands and sing, and louder sing, for every tatter in its mortal dress. Here Yeats gives us a stark image of an old age. An old man is a tattered coat upon a stick. It's a metaphor that conveys a sense of decay and helplessness. But, and this is key, he doesn't stop there. He suggests that the soul, even in old age, has the power to transcend this decay. The soul can clap its hands and sing louder in response to every tatter in the body. What do you think Yeats is getting at? What if the soul's vitality could overcome the physical decline? Is there something more enduring than the body? Yes. The soul, for Yeats, has the power to transcend time and decay. Picture an old worn-out instrument, maybe a violin. The strings are frayed, the wood is cracked, and the varnish is chipped. But the music it creates, the sound it makes, can still be beautiful, right? The violin's physical condition may be in decline, but the music it produces remains timeless. In the same way, Yeats suggests that even as the body wears down, The soul, through art and intellectual engagement, can produce something lasting and eternal. Now we come to the turning point in the poem, stanza 3. Here the speaker has rejected the physical world of youth and aging, and he sets his sights on Byzantium, an ancient city. Yeats writes, O sages standing in God's holy fire, as in the gold mosaic of a wall, come from the holy fire, burn in the gyre, and be the singing masters of my soul. What does Byzantium represent? According to Yeats, Byzantium symbolizes eternity, art, and intellectual transcendence. Notice the imagery of gold mosaic and holy fire. These are symbolic of the sacred and the eternal. Byzantium is portrayed as a place where art and intellect endure, untouched by the physical world's decay. But why does Yeats turn to these sages? What do they represent? They represent the intellectual and spiritual leaders who have transcended physical limitations. Yeats is calling on them to guide his soul, to transform him into something eternal. Just as their art and wisdom remain immortal, this is the heart of Yeats's quest. He wants to transcend the mortal decaying body and enter a world where intellect and art are eternal. Moving on to stanza 4, Yeats presents his vision of immortality. Yeats writes, Once out of nature I shall never take my bodily form from any natural thing, but such a form as Grecian goldsmiths make, of hammered gold and gold enameling, to keep a drowsy emperor awake, or set upon a golden bough to sing, to lords and ladies of Byzantium, of what is past or passing or to come. In this final vision, the speaker imagines that after death, he will not take any other form, but will be transformed into something eternal and artistic, crafted by the hands of the Grecian goldsmiths. The image of the golden bough and the reference to singing for lords and ladies of Byzantium evoke a world where art and intellect are preserved forever, untouched by time. But what does the gold symbolize here? Think of gold as something precious and enduring, something that does not tarnish or decay with time. Yeats is saying that just as gold is impervious to time, so too is art and intellectual achievement. This is Yeats's ideal, to transcend mortality through art, to leave behind something that will sing forever, just like the ancient poets and philosophers of Byzantium. Byzantium for Yeats is the ultimate symbol of spiritual and artistic immortality. It represents not just a city, but a state of intellectual and creative perfection. And the key symbols throughout the poem, gold, the golden bough, sages, birds, and beasts, they all reflect Yeats's belief that immortality is found in art, wisdom, and intellectual pursuits, not in the physical fleeting world. I want to leave you with a thought. Change. We all experience change, whether it's the natural aging process, changes in our environment, or shifts in our intellectual or artistic goals. Yeats is writing about change, but in a way that transcends the physical. He says that while the body may change, decay, and die, the soul, through art and intellect, can achieve a form of immortality. And I'll leave you with this question. When you think about your future, what part of you, your ideas, your creations, your spirit, would you want to live on beyond the inevitable changes of time?